Yeah, Diddy. The apology came too late. First of all, I want to say this. If you are regretful for your actions, and this is just speaking generally, you don't wait until it's been revealed to the public to apologize. All right? I feel as though the Diddy apology video is not towards Cassie, because he didn't say sorry to Cassie. He apologized to the people that have supported him, whether it be the investors, the people that have pushed his brand, and the fans. It wasn't like, Cassie, I'm sorry I did that to you. Had he made the video about Cassie, I would say, you know what? It's still, late. But, okay, at least you are saying publicly that you're sorry to the girl that you were with for almost a decade, and you apologizing to what you did to her. Now that it's publicly out there. But what you don't do is make an apology video. And you don't directly first say apology to the victim. I feel as though he shouldn't have did it. I also feel as though Diddy is breaking. Diddy is not handling this well. But here's the thing, Diddy, you did it. And if it wasn't for the lawsuit that happened, none of us would have known about it outside of gossip blogs, outside of people working in the industry that know of the secret. There would have been an apology video. But see, there's no more secrets. And so it's out there and it can't be denied. Now, there is speculation, because I'm saying it's speculation because it hasn't been concrete, because Cassie and her team hasn't come forward to say this. But it's speculated that the actual reason for the fight was because she was leaving. She didn't even have one of these shoes. She was leaving Puffy's hotel room because she refused to participate in a freak off. And she wanted to just, leave, get her stuff. She didn't even have on shoes. She was barefoot. All he had to do, as in Sean Diddy Combs, let her leave. Had he let her leave, there wouldn't have been a video. We would still know about the lawsuit, but this claim that was actually in the lawsuit wouldn't have even happened. It wouldn't have even been included because it would have never occurred. You threw her on the ground, you punched her, kicked her, and then you stomped her. You treated her like she was nothing. She didn't even fight you back. She wasn't a threat. And then you threw a vase that was made from glass at her, and it looked like it hit her in the face. Mind you, you had on nothing but red socks and a white towel covering your private parts. You had on no clothes. What was so urgent that you had to get her? And you didn't even get dressed. You should have got dressed. She had on everything but shoes. She's running from you. You are a multi-millionaire. It's 2016. It's not 96. It's 2016. You were 46 at that time. You knew. You were 5 kids in. And that's not even counting Quincy, who you counted as your child. You could have said, you know what, Cassie? If you want to leave, leave. If you want to be done with this, go. Just leave me alone. Just go. Just go. 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 But your ego would not let you think that, let alone say it. let alone show it in your actions. So you had to stomp her, punch her, kick her in the head, throw a vase at her. You treated her like she was a corner hoe. And I hate to say that, but that's the only way I see it. And for all the pick-me's out there, I want to say this. You are the real reason I feel, as pick-me women, you are one of the real reasons why men like this behave this way and think it's acceptable, because you accept the behavior. I've seen pick-me's online co-signing this and saying, well, you know, if he did it, if you see the video, well, if he did it, she deserved it because she probably was stealing from him. Pause. Let's say she stole from him. Diddy in 2016 was worth about $700 million, okay? If she stole cash from him, being a multi-millionaire, he's walking around with cash, maybe 50 to 100K. I'm going to say 50 to 50K. He could recoup that like that. That's like 10 minutes. No, that's like 5 minutes. He could easily got that back. Because he paid 50K to the hotel to not have the footage leak. If he was so sorry then, why did he have to pay them? He made sure that that was swept under the rug. And according to the documents, he didn't apologize to Cassie. He would just, say like, oh, I'm not myself. The whole, the domestic violence apologies, not a thorough apology. That video that we saw, that was a DV apology. That's what perpetrators of domestic violence do when they apologize. That's how they apologize. They will say something like, yo, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. I'll be a better person. But the reason why it happened was because I had a bad night 2 nights before. And it'd be some random stuff. Like, remember Forrest Gump when Jenny's boyfriend, who was an activist, he hit her and then Forrest Gump beat his ass to the ground, rightfully so. And then the next day he apologized and he said, I'm sorry, Jenny. I should have did it. But it was that fucking Nixon. You want to blame Richard Nixon on the reason why you basically smacked Jenny in the face. That's what perpetrators of domestic violence do. They will use something so random as an excuse, so left field. And the person, because it's like the reason behind it is so, far-fetched, but it's like, damn. In their mind, it's like, damn, maybe that is the reason why he did it. So, I'll give it another chance. And that's probably what happened with Cassie. She probably gave it another chance. But Alex Fine, who came into her life as just a person who was a trainer, a person that's like, listen here, I'm Puffy's employee. I'm going to train you to get your body right, your mind right, so that you could go back to performing and doing what you contractually obligated to do. They started a relationship. Next thing you know, not only they move on, they got married. And they $30 million paid later from him. So it's a light at the end of the tunnel. But Cassie I'm sure, has PTSD from this. And I'm sure it was a trigger. I'm sure she's in counseling. And as for Puffy, this is what I'm going to say. You have children. You have 4 daughters. A set of twins. You have a 18-year-old. The twins are 17. And you have a 3-year-old. I'm not going to say anything. But bless those daughters. And protect them. domestic violence is serious. Domestic violence is nothing to take lighthearted. Domestic violence is no joke. And I remember growing up, I always said, I will never, ever, ever put myself in a DV situation. And I'm proud to say I never did. Because when I dated, I'm single now. But when I was younger and I dated, if a guy said the wrong thing to me, pap, I struck first. Or I would hit them with their hands. I was very defensive. I defended myself to the core. I have never, ever been a pick-me. And I got that from my grandma. And my grandmother was in a DV marriage. And she would fight back. And then one day, my grandfather, her husband, was like, let me get out of here because he got knocked in the head and she thought she deleted him. And he said, he woke up like 10 minutes later. He said, you know what, let me leave the house. I got to get out of here because one of us is going to end up dead. And she said, it ain't going to be me. And so he got his stuff and he left a couple of days later officially. He moved to another city. And my grandma, you know, she lived her life. You know, she never got remarried. But she pretty much was like, you know, I'd rather be single, date, or just be single than to go through another marriage and be a victim of DV. I'm not going to be a victim of domestic violence. And money, like, they weren't even saying domestic violence, but they were saying abuse and being beat up. I'm not going to do it. And she taught her children don't accept it. And my aunt never did. My mother kind of went through it. You know, I never did. I refuse. But at the same time, I'm going to say this though. And I'm going to close with this. As women, you never know who you're going to end up with. But I still say you can make the choice and we have the power to basically get out before we get in too deep. That first sign, when you see just like the behavior, like the anger, bye. I know it gets addictive, especially when you go into that I care about the person realm, but get out. Get the hell out. Because it's not worth your life. It's not worth your safety. And even if you survive it, it's not worth living with the nightmares. And with that being said, I'm signing out. Thank you for listening and tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Share, comment, like. I'll get back to you soon. And Puffy, Diddy, Brother Love, whatever you're calling yourself now, Sean John Combs is your legal name. What I'm going to say is this. You got to seek help. Deep help. And I would say there's no coming back from this as far as your reputation. But I would say whatever money you have, save it, invest, and just close a chapter of being famous and make yourself a better person for not just for yourself, but for your children. And also become Christ-centered in your life. Get your life right. And that's all I have to say. Because I do believe in redemption, but Diddy needs Jesus.